שיר נוגע ושורט לי את הגוף, מזכיר לי אותי.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I ask you to take your seats, please? We're going to get started. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get started. If you kindly take your seats, please. Good evening. I apologize for the brief delay. We had a minor medical emergency in the back of the room. The person is, God willing, going to be fine, and we got her some medical attention, but I didn't want anybody concerned, and I apologize for this brief delay. My name is Kevin Adelstein. I'm the publisher of the Cleveland and Columbus Jewish News and the president of the Cleveland Jewish Publication Company. Please. Thank you. Welcome to the 2018 Cleveland Jewish News 18 Difference Makers celebration. We are here tonight to honor some pretty incredible women and men who are representative of the vibrancy and generosity of Northeast Ohio's Jewish community. This group of 18 difference makers, the Stein family, Judge Polster, and Roe Green, they literally come from all walks of life among us. They stand for justice, and they stand for mental illness and addiction recovery. They stand for the disabled. They stand for advocacy. They stand for education, and they stand for our children. They stand for our elderly. They stand for our next generation of young Jewish leaders, and they stand for those who are unable to provide food for themselves. They stand for Holocaust remembrance, and they stand for Israel. They are the difference makers. When you open our special commemorative section in Friday's CJN, in which you have a copy in your bags, you read about light overpowering darkness in my introduction to the 18 Difference Makers special section. This is a difficult time for Jews around the world. Acts of hate aimed at our people are on the rise. Some are merely criminal. Others are appallingly heinous, but all have severe and long-lasting consequences. They ripple through our communities, creating a sometimes inescapable sense of insecurity, such as the vile nature of anti-Semitism. Recently, our neighbors in Pittsburgh suffered the worst act of anti-Semitism carried out on American soil. We continue to grieve for the victims of the massacre at Tree of Life congregation, and we continue to keep in our prayers their families and the Squirrel Hill community. We will never forget. During times of such tragedy and sorrow, it is important and can help the healing to remember the good, celebrate the positive, and invite in the light to overpower the darkness. When we introduced the Cleveland Jewish News 18 Difference Makers 4 years ago, we intended for it to be a way to acknowledge acts of tikkun olam, repairing the world, and tzedakah, charity, that's happening in our community. I'm fairly certain it continues to accomplish just that. And this year we're especially grateful to celebrate those acts of kindness. We have a ballroom filled with difference makers. For those who are past honorees, would you please take a moment, stand at your seat, and allow us to recognize you once again. You continue to inspire us, and please keep on doing what you do. Most in this room have had an opportunity to interact with at least one member of the Cleveland Jewish News staff, be it a member of our editorial staff. I know you dodged their calls. They've interviewed you, they've written about you, they've photographed or recorded you or your business, your organization, your charity, or your event. Or maybe it was a member of our advertising department. They worked with you on your marketing strategy to help you reach our very diverse and influential audience. Or maybe it was a member of our business office who you interacted with during the proof of performance in completing your transaction and follow-up. Maybe you interacted with a member of our circulation department who helped you with that gift subscription for your college student or your neighbor. Or maybe it was a member of our design team who helped design the ad for you in tonight's tribute section to help you honor one or many of our deserving honorees. In all likelihood, you certainly interacted with the wizard behind the curtain who orchestrated tonight's and all of our events, our event manager, Gina Lloyd. It's these amazing and dedicated individuals that drive the Cleveland Jewish Publication Company bus. They do it with such passion. So many thanks to them for all they do for our community-owned publication and now multimedia company. In a recent email exchange with my friend Rabbi Yossi Marazov, we reflected on anti-Semitism, that tragedy, and the 4 words uttered that Sabbath day in Pittsburgh: all Jews must die. The rabbi reminded me of the symbolism of the date we selected for this year's celebration. While we haven't looked into the future when setting this date to honor our 18 difference makers and honorees, it certainly does appear symbolic. Today is 11/18/18. Why do we choose 18? 18 is etched in our conscious as a numerical number corresponding to the Hebrew word chai, meaning to life. That's what we honor tonight, the improvement of life. That is the best antidote to those evil actions used to minimize life. We reply with chai. We will maximize life and improve all lives around us. From the actions of our difference makers, the Stein family, Judge Polster, Roe Green. This is a message that should propel us to turn the memorial of the 11 precious souls we lost in Squirrel Hill into a dedication for increased life. 18 is chai. Our response is chai life, and double chai at that. May their memories indeed be a blessing and inspiration to continue celebrating the chai difference makers for many, many years to come. Please welcome to the stage to deliver an invocational prayer one of our 18 difference makers this evening who we honor. From Beth Israel, the West Temple, Rabbi Enid Lader.
Thank you, Kevin, and to the Cleveland Jewish News for the honor of offering the invocation for this very special evening. And thank you all on behalf of my fellow honorees, to our families and members of the greater Cleveland community, yes, from the east side and the west side, and all around the town. We thank you for your presence this evening, and we treasure your support. There is a Hasidic story of a man wandering lost in a forest. He turns this way and that, but just cannot find his way out of the forest. He makes another turn and sees another man walking towards him. "Ho, brother," he calls out. "I'm lost. Can you show me the way out of this forest?" The other man replies, "I too am lost. But if you take my hand, perhaps we can find our way out of this forest together." If you take my hand, perhaps we can find our way out of this forest together. Friends, I think this story speaks to us in 2 ways. In one sense, there are so many who are wandering and lost. People in need of guidance, in need of an open hand to help them through challenging times. People whose stories need to be heard and others who need to hear them. People who have struggled themselves and are seeking to help others. And for those who are lost, for those who are in need, we, each of us, each and every one of us, can hold out our hand to them and say, let's find our way out of this forest together. And in the process, we help to make a difference in their lives. And there is another way to understand this story. For those who are the helpers, it can be challenging to do it alone. Having supportive family and friends and colleagues and congregants can truly make such a difference. Their open hands and understanding hearts help to make possible the work of change and help to make possible the work of making a difference. It is fitting at this time to offer a prayer of thanks. It is truly a Shehechianu moment. I invite you to join me. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Thank you, Eternal One, Sovereign of the universe, for giving us life filled with opportunities. Thank you for sustaining us with vision and fortitude and the means to reach out our hands and to open our hearts. And thank you, O Eternal One, for bringing us to this very special time. And let us say, Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi. The Cleveland Jewish News, Columbus Jewish News, and the Cleveland Jewish Publication Company are truly blessed to be surrounded by an extremely dedicated, talented, and generous group of lay leaders who serve in a multitude of advising, mentoring, and so many other roles for not only myself, but our professional staff and the entire community. I wish to thank them all, many of them who are here with us this evening, for all they do to guide and ensure the longstanding mission of the Cleveland Jewish News is carried out. To represent this group, please join me in welcoming one of our vice chairs of the Cleveland Jewish Publication Company, Paul Singerman. What's that?
Oh, I'm much shorter than Kevin. Thank you. Perfect. Thank you. Good evening. On behalf of the Board of Directors of the Cleveland Jewish Publication Company, I'd like to thank you all for being here this evening to honor this great class of 18 difference makers. As Kevin told you, my name is Paul Singerman. I am a vice chair of the board of the CJPC. I'm standing in this evening for our board chairman, David Hertz, who could not be here because he is out of town celebrating a family simcha. However, David prepared the following remarks, which it is my honor and privilege to deliver on his behalf. When the Cleveland Jewish News first decided to hold the Difference Makers event, it was to honor those who positively impact our community, whose commitments and passion make Jewish life a bit better for all of us. The concept complemented and amplified the role of the CJBC to strengthen our community by informing our readers, convening our residents, and fostering communications and informed debate. To one extent or another, most Jewish media fulfill these roles as well. Today, after Pittsburgh and Charlottesville, the CJPC is more urgently driven than ever to fulfill this role. Hate crimes against Jews in America rose by more than a third last year and accounted for 58% of all religious-based hate crimes, according to the FBI. The Anti-Defamation League found that the anti-Semitic incidents rose 57% in 2017, the largest single-year increase on record. It is critical that we record for history the impact bullets fired and bloodshed in Pittsburgh had on Ohio's Jewish community. You should have read in the CJN by now about the extraordinary efforts the CJPC staff expended to cover the local, state, and even national angles of this tragedy. We all know that an attack on Jews anywhere, let alone in a synagogue, is an attack on all of us and on all freedoms we enjoy in this country. So let me simply say that there was never any doubt that the CJPC would dedicate all its reporting tools, from email news alerts to online breaking news, powerful photos, and pages of newsprint to covering the Pittsburgh attack. If you missed any of it, you can find it all at cjn.org/stronger-than-hate. As you've heard from Kevin already, it is similarly important that we gather at events such as this to recognize those among us who enrich our community through their tireless efforts. Every year we are amazed at the breadth and quality of the nominations. Every year it is a struggle to winnow the field to 18, but it is an honor to do so, and we are humbled each year that you vote with your feet and attend this valuable community event. Tonight, there are, my understanding, over 550 people here, and we thank each and every one of you. I'm sure you noticed that I said earlier that we are committed to informing the Jewish community of Ohio. As you also heard from Kevin, this year the CJPC expanded its reach and started publishing the Columbus Jewish News in print and online. Before the August launch, we knew the Jewish community in our state's capital had close ties to that in Northeast Ohio, but in recent weeks our appreciation for those bonds has grown. We are excited, proud, and energized by our mission in our community. We intend to serve you to the best of our ability. Let us know how we do. Contact our staff, write a letter to the editor, share our posts on social media. Above all, read the paper. Thank you very much for coming this evening.
Thanks, Paul. I think it's time to meet our 18 difference makers. Please turn your attention to the video monitors on both of my sides.
I was involved in Holocaust education to this day. And about 10 years ago, after I retired, I committed myself to volunteering every single day, helping other people. That is my commitment.
I feel it's very important that we do something for humankind. I feel that it's important that we give back for what we have been given. And I think it's just imperative that we give back.
Those of us who've had some success or some good fortune in life have an obligation to try to help and improve the community. And there's the Jewish principle of tikkun olam, and I think that starts at home, starts in your own community and not just the whole world. So I think it's a good thing to be active.
I'd spent the day with Warren Buffett, and one thing that he said really stuck out was he said it's called the ovarian lottery. You never know where you're going to end up in the world, and you want to make sure that you could end up anywhere under any circumstances. And seeing as you don't know where you're going to be, you try and make the world a better place.
It was a lifestyle that I grew up with and that I've raised my family with, to always help others. And I once heard a quote, I think it was, that said, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." And that's really has motivated me.
I had a gifted guidance counselor who gave me a job when he saw I was bored in a program for people with developmental disabilities. And in that program, I found home. I just loved it. And so it became my career. And I was so motivated to help everybody as a professional. And then 10 years later, I had my own son with Down syndrome.
It goes back to the lessons that my late parents, Sam and Francis Sack, taught me. We talk about tikkun olam, repairing the world, or the concept that we're responsible for one another. They taught me that those aren't just things you talk about over coffee. Those essentially are calls for action. And for me, it resulted in career choices and essentially lifestyle choices in terms of wanting to make a difference.
My family and I have been very fortunate, and we have a genuine desire to give back to the community. We know from personal experience there are many great institutions in Cleveland and in other areas, and we would like to do anything that we are able to strengthen these institutions.
I believe that my deeds and action are firmly rooted in deeply held Jewish values of chesed, tzedakah, and tikkun olam, of kindness, justice, and repairing the world. These basic life tenets, which combine head, heart, and soul, provide a context and a framework for me to live and to work, to give voice to others, to strengthen community, build bridges of understanding, help those who are less fortunate, and work to make the world a little bit better than we found it.
Whether it's kissing the mezuzah, lighting the Shabbos candles, or helping the poor and visiting the sick. Every one of those acts make us feel like we are holy.
I think what it means to me is pretty much what it means to everybody, which is an obligation to make things better. I think my view might be a little bit different because I view it as both an individual obligation and a community obligation. And I think that the only way it really gets done is if the community works as one community as opposed to a number of individuals just going off and doing it on their own.
Focusing more on the world as it is today and not thinking about what will be in the future or an afterlife, but thinking about what we can do to make where we're living right now a better place.
It's very important that we have our eye on the target. And the target in today's world is a vision towards making this world a much better place.
We both have tried to instill in our children how important it is to help others, to give back to the community, to do things that will help people improve their lives.
It's definitely been a guiding factor in how I choose to live my life and the reason why I became a social worker in the first place. What a better way to repair the world than to help people for a living.
For me, Tikkun Olam means to be the best person that I can be and to help people be the best people that they can be as individuals and as groups.
What we do every day in terms of Gemilut Chasadim, acts of loving kindness, this is what we're instructed to do, so that every act, everything we say, is a part of making the world a better place.
In improv, there's the idea of yes and yes and to me is really what Tikkun Olam is to say, I see you, I hear you, and I'm going to do something to help you, to acknowledge you.
First and foremost, about simply acting with kindness. It's about bringing your best self to the world, and everything that you do and say, that is what will truly make the world a better place.
I'd say that Yom Kippur is my favorite holiday. It's extremely memorable, it's meaningful. It's a day when you reflect back on the past year and you look forward to what you can improve and make better for the year coming up.
Passover, we get to drink wine. We remember how we left Egypt. It's really a holiday of freedom, and it's really a time for family to be together for Pesach.
My maternal grandmother. She passed away when I was 14, but she was a feminist before her time. She came over steerage with 2 little babies, and my grandfather was ill, and she had to make a living and support the family. And she always was a model for me.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and I always told my kids if I ever got a tattoo, it would be RBG on my arm, because she just has all those attributes that I find so admirable. She's tenacious, she's smart, she came from adversity. Her mother died when she was young, they were Russian immigrants, and yet she worked to change the conversation about gender equality and human rights in general.
I would hands down choose my grandparents. They were immigrants of Nazi Europe, and to hear their stories one more time in their words, in their voices, and with their accents is something I would love to be able to do.
I would have enjoyed being an OBGYN because it's got to be tremendously exciting helping people bring new life into the world.
I'd like to keep doing what I'm doing every day as long as I can. I'm going to be 80 in April, and believe me, I would like to continue doing this for as long as I'm physically able to.
I probably would be just volunteering where I work. I'm not the best with downtime, so I think I would probably just be doing a lot more in the community in other ways by volunteering and definitely traveling more as well.
I'm reading Essays on Ethics by Rabbi Jonathan Sacks. The guy's just brilliant. It's reading people who are so much smarter than you is, to me, an amazing experience, and I think everybody should really try to do it. He takes a view of Judaism that's important because it shows how truly ethical a religion it is.
So you want to talk about Race by Ijeoma Olu, and it's very similar, I think, to the principle of Tikkun Olam. It's saying where you have privilege and where others have oppression, it's your job to use your privilege to help lessen oppression in the world.
So I'm just finishing Yossi Klein Halevi's letter to my Palestinian neighbors. And on deck next is John Meacham's The Soul of America and Doris Kearns Goodwin's Leadership in Turbulent Times.
I wish I'd taken better care of myself. I should have exercised more, and I wish that I had spent more time studying liberal arts and not been as focused on business and things like that.
Perspective matters, and sometimes you just have to reframe events and think of them a little bit differently. And with the passing of time, things will look different.
I would advise myself to be a Cleveland sports fan, but to have patience, because you have to wait till next year very often. And have a dog and enjoy your dog and love your dog.
My parents were Holocaust survivors, and arriving to this country, we were settled in Cleveland. And many years later, in 1972, my parents helped us open the first Chabad House of Cleveland, and today we have 18 Chabad centers in northeastern Ohio.
I grew up in Northeast Ohio, grew up in Cleveland Heights. I was away for about 15 years. I came back primarily to be with my aging parents and support them. And as an adult, I fell in love again with the community, a community that gave me so much.
My favorite TV show has been Star Trek. I love each of the iterations, but especially the first one, and the social issues that the shows dealt with were wonderful.
I do like watching Born That Way, which is a wonderful show about adults, young adults with Down syndrome, and then little people, because here again, in the same way as in Born That Way, a person gets to see that little people have regular, normal lives.
3 things. Number 1, believe in yourself. Number 2, never ever give up no matter how bad things look. Number 3, nobody is better than I am. And I'm not better than anybody else, just different. And I'll live by that all my life.
How do we not end on Stanley's beautiful quote? Wow. We cannot do this event without the truly meaningful and generous support of each of you, as Paul indicated earlier, and each of our sponsors. So I put in a shameless plug for our partners. They are our co-presenting sponsors, Classic Lexus, HW Financial Advisors, and Weatherhead School of Management at Case Western Reserve University. Our Lifetime Achievement sponsor is ERC Health, and our Generation Award sponsor is Ganley Subaru Bedford. Our video sponsor is Greater Cleveland Partnership, and our cocktail sponsor tonight is Ohio.net. Our gift bag sponsor, and inside your gift bags at your table, you're going to find a subscription offer for the Cleveland Jewish News. I promised our VP of Sales, Adam Mandel, I would give a shout out to our subscription offer, so I have to do that. I presume all of you are religious, no pun intended, readers of the there was a pun, readers of the Cleveland Jewish News, but if you're not, I encourage you to take advantage of our subscription offer. Paul told you all the great things that our reporting staff has been writing about lately and have done for quite some time. It's an award-winning journalism team that Bob Jacob, our managing editor, has assembled. So please support the community, your community publication company. If you already have a subscription, you can gift the subscription to a loved one or a neighbor or anybody that you think would benefit from reading the Cleveland Jewish News. And our lanyard sponsor tonight is University Hospitals. And in case I didn't say it, I don't know if I said the Kotler Metal Products, I apologize, is our gift bag sponsor. So thank you to all of our partners and each of you, as well as our table sponsors this evening who have all lent their wonderful names to support the Cleveland Jewish News and our entire community. And speaking of sponsors, please welcome to the stage one of our partners who has been with us since the beginning of the 18 Difference Makers, the General Manager of Classic Lexus, Mr. Matt Dietz.
Good evening. My name is Matthew Dietz. I'm the General Manager at Classic Lexus, and it's my honor to be a part of this for the 4th consecutive year. When Nell Kerman from the Jewish News, who's wonderful, came to me a little over 4 years ago and told me what they had in mind to honor difference makers, I signed on immediately. It's something that I try to instill in my kids and my staff every day to try to make a difference for others. And again, I'm not here to market Classic, but to say thank you to our difference makers. And it's great to be here again. Thank you.
I'm going to ask Matt to stay up here, and he's going to help me honor our first group of 18 difference makers. When I call your name, would you kindly please come up to the stage? We're going to give you some hardware, take a picture, and allow you to be recognized as you so deserve to be. Our first honoree is Devora Alevsky.
Devora's life work has been to assist others. She has taken the Cleveland Food Pantry and expanded it from delivering 300 bags of food weekly to delivering 4,000 bags monthly.
Irv Berliner.
Helping others was ingrained in Irv from a young age, which inspired his work at many organizations, including Green Road Synagogue, Jewish Education Center of Cleveland, Montefiore, and each of the Jewish Days schools, among others.
Yeah. Stanley Bernath.
At 92 years young, Stanley spends his time visiting many other Holocaust survivors at Menorah Park each day, and he also volunteers his time with Jewish Family Services and Meals on Wheels, transporting others and delivering food.
Thank you. Yeah, put that in. There you go. Thank you.
Dr. Susan Bixel.
As the president and CEO of JFSA, Susan has achieved many firsts for its clients, including creation of a congregate living space for people living with disabilities or mental illness.
Art Elk and David Elk.
As the founders of the law firm bearing their family name, Art and Dave give back to the community through their work with Milestones Autism Resources, St. Augustine Hunger Center, University Hospitals, Cleveland Clinic, Cleveland Pops Orchestra, State Highway Patrol, and others.
Roman Freeman.
As a Holocaust survivor, Roman is committed to sharing his experience with others by educating them through his words. He's been doing this for the past 35 years, speaking at synagogues, churches, schools, colleges, and the Maltz Museum of Jewish Heritage.
Thanks again, Matt, and thank you for all of your support and that of the Classic Lexus. Please welcome to the stage another one of our longtime partners, the president of HW Financial Advisors, Mr. Stephen Rudolph.
As president and CEO of HW Financial Advisors, it's a great honor to be here tonight for this fantastic event. As I work every day with my colleagues to manage investments and create financial plans for our clients, we constantly remind ourselves of what drives us every day, helping people. We cherish being advocates for our clients and helping them reach their goals and dreams, which includes giving back to the community through charitable planning and volunteering. We are touched by the remarkable work that's being done right here in our community, and we at HW Financial Advisors will continue to support these wonderful efforts financially and through our time. Together we can make a difference. We congratulate the 18 difference makers on their huge accomplishment and hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.
Steve's going to assist me in recognizing our next group of 18 difference makers. Michael Horvitz.
Michael volunteers as a way to improve his community. He's a trustee of the Cleveland Orchestra, Cleveland Clinic, and the Frick Collection in New York City. He's been active in numerous others, such as Jewish Federation of Cleveland, Cleveland Museum of Art, AJC, and Montefiore.
Adam R. Jacobs.
Returning to his hometown at 25, Adam saw the need to connect with other Jewish young professionals. His community involvement started with 2139, a vibrant social environment for young Jewish professionals he created.
Noreen Koppelman Goldstein.
Noreen has found unique ways to give back to the community through her philanthropy and leadership. She is outgoing president of Jewish National Fund, where her family has donated a fire truck as well as an ambulance to Magen David Adom, both in Israel.
Mandy Quate.
Mandy co-founded Moisha House, a home featuring area residents who meet regularly to create a thriving and exciting community for Jewish young professionals.
Rabbi Enid Lader.
Rabbi Enid not only serves the West Side Jewish community, she also is actively engaged with the non-Jewish clergy councils of Cleveland's West Park neighborhood and Lakewood, where she is called upon to speak regularly about Judaism.
Fern Ruth Levy.
Fern is active in the Jewish community by her volunteer work for the Maltz Museum of Jewish Heritage, Jewish Federation of Cleveland, Jewish Family Service Association, and is a hospital chaplain.
Thanks, Steve, and thanks again for all your support. Another one of our partners who's been with us since the beginning of the 18 Difference Makers is Case Western Reserve University Weatherhead School of Management. Please welcome their Director of Admissions and Senior Recruiter, Steve Scheidt.
Good evening. The Weatherhead School of Management at Case Western Reserve University is proud to again be a sponsor of this wonderful event. Nearly a third of the honorees are graduates of Case Western Reserve, including Weatherhead, and others are connected in meaningful ways for sure. It's exceedingly humbling to think of the impact the honorees have in this community, in the region, and beyond. Today is only a moment in time to celebrate, but your personal leadership is enduring. Much like the people we applaud tonight, the Weatherhead School has the belief that there is a greater good in what we do, an intentional shared goodness and success we strive to achieve in our work and a life we're called to live. As we educate students from Northeast Ohio, across the country, and around the globe, we're guided by a mission to develop transformational ideas and outstanding leaders for the advancement of business and society. We're proud to have a network of more than 20,000 alumni worldwide. From Weatherhead's undergraduate programs to the MBA, from the specialty masters to the doctoral programs, students and professionals develop the skills and tools to design new solutions to the most complex challenges we face today. Additionally, there are more than 70 non-degree programs available through our executive education department. What we do in business and in life should enhance the human experience so that people and societies thrive and organizations prosper, where we find meaning and purpose in what we do. To the difference makers being honored, and to all of you, thank you for what you do, but more important, for who you are.
Let's meet our last group of 18 Difference Makers. Dina Nair Mendelowitz.
Using her personal experiences with mental health, Dina created a monthly live comedy talk show, Mental Illness and Friends, as an opportunity to help others.
Deborah Picker.
After having spent 35 years teaching in local public schools, Debbie founded Fair Clee, a nonprofit that provides transportation for those 14 and older with disabilities and early-stage dementia.
Mark J. Sack.
The former professional basketball player in Israel, Mark holds a law degree, but spends his days in a classroom at Heights High, and the rest of his time giving back to a number of local organizations.
Donald S. Scherzer.
Don has been volunteering actively for decades and wishes there was a way to provide a better life for all those who need one. He's the past board chair of the Temple Tifereth Israel.
Lisi Shapiro.
Lisi credits the tragedy of 9/11 as changing the course of her life, volunteering in the rescue and recovery, and finding her way to Cleveland and AJC.
All right, Erica, bring us all home. Erica G. Starfield.
Erica credits her teenage years in BBYO as laying the foundation for her volunteer and community involvement, where as an adult, she is an active lay leader in the Jewish Federation of Cleveland.
And Asher Starfield. Thanks, Steve, and thanks to all of our friends at Case Western Reserve University Weatherhead School of Management for their continued support. I'd like to acknowledge our friends at Ganley Subaru Bedford for their presentation of tonight's Generation Award. Before I do, though, another round of applause for all of our 18 difference makers. Please direct your attention to the video screens.
Helping to make an impact in someone else's life is the greatest feeling in the world to me. I've learned this from my parents and my grandparents, and Carmi and I have tried to emulate this to our children and our grandchildren to make a difference in someone else's life, and especially those in need.
I would have it with my dad. He was a very strong, kind soul, and I would spend that 30 minutes just catching up on 30 years, giving him all the information about my 4 little girls turning into 4 incredible young ladies, picking 4 fabulous men that I so proudly call my sons, and blessing us with 8 darling grandchildren. And I'd let him know that we're 18 strong and that we share his same values with love for family and community.
When we were little girls, our parents used to always tell us, when you share, you get more. I think it was to eliminate the fighting over food and clothes, and there was a lot of fighting over clothes specifically. But now as adults, that has really resonated with us to our work within the community and within philanthropy, and it's so true. The more you give, the more you get.
Always be very dedicated and true to your friends, and always be close to your family. And the main thing is be the person you want to be instead of somebody telling you what to be.
Passover is my favorite holiday. It's the one time a year that we have our immediate family, extended family, friends, anybody who doesn't have anywhere to go for Passover. We're all at one big table. We follow Haggadah from a Jewish day school, so we're singing, we're dancing. It's just a lot of fun.
I think Cleveland is a great place for every age and stage of life, but especially to raise a family. For so many reasons. It's affordable, we have beautiful neighborhoods, excellent schools, and of course, a wonderful Jewish community.
I have a 3-week-old and a 20-month-old, so sleeping is my relaxation right now. Other than that, I like to run, walk, and do yoga.
One thing I really look forward to is the Cleveland Jewish News. I read it from page to page and try to keep up with what's going on here now.
We're done.
Wait. Boom. Can she move it? Can she drop the mic?
Jerry, I'd like to make you our new Vice President of Subscription Services. So, yeah, you're going to help us sell subscriptions, so thank you. Lador Vador, from generation to generation, Jewish Cleveland and Jewish Akron certainly understand that meaning. And Geraldine and Morton Stein of blessed memory, Todd and Carmi Stein, they certainly understand that meaning. We are extremely confident that their 4 daughters and their husbands understand that meaning and are setting that example already with their own children. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's recipients of the Generation Award, please welcome Geraldine, Todd and Carmi Stein, Michelle Hirsch, Rachel Weinberg, Abby Diamond, and Jody Meredith, the Stein family.
I'll give you your ticket. And Abby's and Connie's. I don't know.
All right, Joey, how are you going to do this, buddy?
There's a lot of us.
Get Graham in the middle.
Jared.
I'm standing
All right. Joe, I don't know if you be in this. Sure? Please direct your attention one more time to the video screens.
The technical definition, I believe, is repairing the world, and we are commanded to be God's partner in alleviating pain and suffering, and hopefully leave the world a little better when we depart, when we came in. Hopefully something to make the world better, something in public service or public interest. I'm not sure I have any too big ones. I'm not big on looking back, wishing I could do something over. If I've made a mistake, I try to learn it and do it a little better the next time, but I think on the big decisions, I think I've made them pretty well. Probably having dinner with my wife. We like to go to theater, so we go to a lot of theater and dinner. I have a tough enough job, Abby. I would not pretend to tell Mayor Jackson how to do his. I have a lot of respect for him. I think he's done a great job. Why I wouldn't take too kindly if people said, all right, if I were Judge Polster, what would I do? How would I do it differently? I'll leave it to Mayor Jackson.
A few weeks ago, I had the honor of moderating a Siegel College Lifelong Learning Program discussion with Your Honor, Judge Polster. During that discussion on the opioid epidemic in our city, I told the audience of a recent New York Times article I'd read. It opened with the following lead. These are quotes. Here are a few choice mutterings from the scrum of lawyers outside courtroom 18B about the federal judge who summoned them to a closed-door conference on hundreds of opioid lawsuits. Grandstander, Pollyanna, over his head, and the chorus, this is not how we do things. Judge Dan Aaron Polster, the New York Times reporter wrote, has perhaps the most daunting legal challenge in the country, resolving more than at that time 400, but now it's close to over 1,400, federal lawsuits brought by cities, counties, and Native American tribes against central figures in the national opioid tragedy, including makers of the prescription painkillers, companies that distribute them, and pharmacy chains that sell them. And to the dismay of those speaking of him at that time outside his courtroom, Judge Polster has made it clear that he will not be doing business as usual. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2018 Cleveland Jewish News Civic Leadership Award presented to Judge Dan Aaron Polster. It was too good to not use. You've seen on the videos, a shout out to our friends at the Beechwood High School, Bison TV. They helped us produce the video, all the videos. Our friends at Greater Cleveland Partnership who helped support it, and our digital content producer, Abby Murphy at the Cleveland Jewish News. She put the whole thing together for us, so thank you to all of you for your support. Please welcome to the stage Carrie Morse, Senior Vice President of ERC.
Thank you. It's such an honor to be here tonight surrounded by so many remarkable difference makers. Making a difference in Northeast Ohio takes community-mindedness, honor, integrity, and generosity. As we celebrate this evening's award winners, we recognize their significant influence, not only in the Jewish community, but in the lives of their families, their employees, students, and many others in our region. ERC has helped make workplaces great for over 98 years. We're also the creator of ERC Health, a leading Ohio health insurance program that strives to make a positive community impact. For 20 years, ERC Health has helped businesses prioritize their employees' well-being as well as their organization's financial health. ERC Health congratulates all of this year's honorees who seek to repair the world, lead by example, and encourage others to do the same. Now, if you would please direct your attention to the video screens to meet our 2018 Lifetime Achievement Award recipient.
Every day I get up, and every day I say to myself, what can I do for somebody else? And that's my way of repairing the world. I feel I have a philosophy of life, and it's that I have 5 oranges, I eat one, I save one, and I give the other 3 away. And in this respect, I feel that I am helping repair the world, and I hope that more people will feel the same way that I do. I would like to have dinner with my dad. He passed away in 1983, and he was the kindest, most honest, gentlest man that I know, and very, very smart. And I would just love to see him again and say, tell him, and have him look at what I've done and say, I hope you're proud of me. The arts are what make us human. And I feel that places and schools that have gotten rid of the arts have done a great disservice to the future, to the children of the future, who are going to become the adults of the future. The arts are important. We all want to be entertained. We want to learn, and you can learn through the arts. Also, the arts provide an amount of money for a community. For every $1 that's spent on, let's say, a theater ticket, there's $7 that are spent on either parking, food, etc. So I think that the arts are important in our world. I think that the first thing is that you have to realize you have to start at the bottom. So many young people today want to start at the top. They want to be the president. And you have to be the guy at the bottom first. You have to learn, and you have to take each step, and you have to work hard. So I think that if you work hard, and don't be afraid to make a mistake. These things, you're young, make them now. And then learn from them. Oh, just because. It's now become a part of my life. It's my philosophy of life, the way I think, the way I feel. It's just one of these things it's just very, very important. And it's just me.
Ladies and gentlemen, this man needs no introduction. Please welcome the president of the Jewish Federation of Cleveland, Mr. Stephen Hoffman. Not so fast, hang on, hold on. While I have you here. Earlier this week, the Jewish Federation of Cleveland threw a humongous party for this man, acknowledging his 35 years as leading the Jewish Federation of Cleveland as president. and it was an incredible party, and I was honored to be there to see Steve receive the accolades that he so deserves. So Steve, we couldn't let you get away without presenting something to you. Ro is my partner in crime on this one, and for all you have done for the Jewish community of Cleveland, and all of Cleveland, we wanted to present to you this plaque that has one of the earliest articles that the Cleveland Jewish News wrote about you. Top Federation executive Steve Hoffman tackles varied challenges of his new job. On Friday, March 23rd, 1984, the price of a Cleveland Jewish News newspaper was 30 cents then. And a very recent one that the CJN's Amanda Kane wrote about you. The first one was written by Cindy Dettelbach, and the second one was written by Amanda Kane, Federation President Hoffman, to retire end of year. And this was on February 23rd, 2018. And inscribed in it, on behalf of the entire community, the Cleveland Jewish Publication Company acknowledges Stephen H. Hoffman for his 35 years of dedicated service as President of the Jewish Federation of Cleveland. It has been our pleasure to chronicle your monumental accomplishments through these pages. Kol HaKavod on your retirement. May you go from strength to strength. Presented on November 18th, 2018. Sorry about that.
I came to talk about someone else. My first thoughts when I think about Ro Green are, we're talking about a Renaissance woman. She's a patron of the arts, especially theater. She's a patron of the actors, the playwrights, the directors, the costumers, the production folks. She befriends them all, not just casually, but deeply, and especially the students. To them, she's not a Renaissance woman. She's a fairy godmother. Ro touches so many far and wide, near and close. New York City, Kent, Ohio, down the street at Case Western Reserve University, Colorado, Chautauqua, New York, and Israel. She's a founder of Federation's Israel Arts and Culture Connections. And with her partner, Erica Hartman Horvitz, she's taken it to new heights in theater, dance, fine arts, and literature. As I said, a true Renaissance woman. She's a woman of the world. In fact, Ro has traveled to and seen most of it. And she's made sure that fellow travelers will get the preparation that they need through the travel clinic at University Hospital. But the ultimate accolade from Ro is to be called a friend, a true friend. So I'm proud to call upon my friend, a patron of the arts, higher education, women and children at risk, medicine, Israel, the Jewish community, and even turtles, to come up for a Lifetime Achievement Award. She is actually too young for a Lifetime Award. There are too many years ahead, too much good to do, and more fun to have. My friend, Ro Green.
Can we get all of you over here?
All of them.
Please, well, no, we're going to get Harry, Steve. There you go.
Can you all hear me? Yeah? Okay. Good evening, and I cannot begin to thank you. Although I've had some time to let this wonderful honor settle in, I am still flabbergasted. How could I possibly be receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award when I'm still so young? After all, it was only a few years ago that I was down the road at Beechwood High School, busy making friends, not busy making a difference. Never could I imagine a night like this. Tonight is a real count your blessing moment for me as a product of this extraordinary community. Will I sound too much like a Destination Cleveland pamphlet if I say look around at all that we have here? University Circle, considered the greatest concentration of cultural organizations in the world. Playhouse Square, our country's second largest concentration of theaters after Lincoln Center. The Cleveland Orchestra, the Cleveland Museum of Art. You get the picture. For someone devoted to supporting the arts, this is a playground. And add in the rich history of philanthropy here, a general community that is renowned for its giving, and a Jewish community that is widely regarded as one of the most organized, generous, and influential on the planet. Just think of what that means to someone like me. As a donor, I get to partner with the savviest, most creative of professionals and lay people in every one of my philanthropic efforts. No wonder I feel young. The vitality of this community makes every new undertaking fresh and dynamic. Cases in point, particularly apt for an award from the Cleveland Jewish News, are deeply rewarding endeavors, such as my involvement with the Jewish Federation, the Israel Arts Connection, where I get to collaborate with my outstanding co-chair, Erica Hartman-Horowitz, our Israeli Resource Israel Wiener, and many other dedicated staff members and volunteers. Or my close work with the remarkably visionary Milt and Tamar Maltz on our shared dreams for the Performing Arts Center at the Temple Tifereth Israel and University Circle. But enough gushing about how fortunate I am and how wonderful you are, though I could certainly go on in that vein. When given a platform like this, one that prompts me to look back and to think forward, I hope it is not too presumptuous of me to speak philosophically for a moment. So I'll hit just a few favorite topics. One is aimed at young women, though I hope it will resonate with everyone in this audience. Women occupy the spotlight these days as they strive anew for equality. I say anew because even if the 1972 Equal Rights Amendment never did become the law of the land, law schools and medical schools are flooded with young women. Glass ceilings are crumbling, and an unimposing female judge nicknamed RBG has become an icon. Yet despite so many gains, women are only now fighting back forcefully against abuse and rising more resolutely to alter the political landscape. So to women who are drawn to today's gender battles and political battles, I salute you. And to women who are more like me, drawn to the arts, education, medical care, and other softer causes, I salute you just as heartily. We are center stage right now, and however we can promote progress will be recognized and will be spread to increasing numbers of women. Becoming a difference maker pays multiple dividends. My other point is one I make in some fashion in every speech I give, that I love the arts for many reasons, and chief among them is how the arts make us more human. Right now, with each of us so hyper-conscious of all that divides us, the arts can be an illuminating, healing refuge, a place to feel solidarity with people whom we may not know, or who may even outwardly seem quite different from us, but who are as moved, humored, comforted, or inspired as we are by an artistic commentary on the human condition that speaks to all of us. In addition to having the power to unite us, a work of art has the power to elevate us, whether that performance or poem or painting helps us look inward or lifts our outlook. And in a 24-hour news cycle, the power of the arts just might be more essential than ever. So there you have it. I try never to overstay my time at the microphone, but before I step down, I do want to commend and congratulate all of the other honorees. I am so proud to be a part of your in crowd. Outstanding men and women who are in the community making vital contributions in Jewish life, not just as bystanders, but as active participants in leadership positions, in projects and programs that are enriching all of us. And as has been noted, we are on quite a high roll tonight. 18 different difference makers, November 18th, 2018, and for me, a Lifetime Achievement Award, when in my mind, I am still 18 years old. But I promise to continue harnessing all that youthful energy into support for organizations and projects that I love in this community that I love. So thank you again for honoring me this evening.
Just as a reminder to Ro of how important her charity is to all of us, to our hospitals, to our medical community, to our arts, we present to you, in addition to the vase of, I understand your favorite color, blue, is a tzedakah box so that you can instill in others, as you do all of us, the charity that's so needed now and forever. So thank you, Ro. Ro Green.
Thank you so much. Put down this one?
Yep. Thank you to ERC Health, our partner in the Lifetime Achievement Honoree. Thank you to Steve for introducing Ro. Ladies and gentlemen, my time here is up. Wishing you all a happy Hanukkah, happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays, and be safe, and we'll see you next year. Thank you.
רוצה שמישהו יכבוש את ליבי, רוצה לחוש מקרוב, כי עייפתי מלחשוב מדוע המזל בוגד בכוכבי, דואגת למחר, מוחקת העבר, אל המציאות אני רוצה להתחבר בים של תקווה. היכן האהבה, למרות הכל לא מוכנה להישבר.